Good afternoon and thanks for staying with us. This is the News Hour on MyPa TV. I am Omogbehinmi at Deji. Here are the top stories making the headlines.
Are you looking for a perfect way to showcase your brand or event? At MyPa LED Screen, we provide high-quality indoor and outdoor LED display solutions that guarantee visibility and impact for churches, political campaigns, weddings, and so on. Let's take a look into it. In a world where visibility is everything, your message deserves to stand out.
Blurry screens, poor brightness, and low quality display can keep you far behind. At MyPa LED Screen, we deliver crystal clear visual, high brightness, and premium display solutions that capture attention instantly. Trusted by businesses, events, and brands that want to be seen. Call us today or WhatsApp us on these numbers.
Showrel unveils free education plan, pledges to scrap WAEC NECO fees. We cannot accept this tragic cycle as normal. Obi condemns fresh attacks in Benue and Plateau. Lagos hosts QEDNG Summit on Nigeria's creative economy. CAF President mourns South African World Cup player Jaden Adams. Africa may get more slots as FIFA considers 64-team World Cup. And now, the news in details. Showrel unveils free education plan, pledges to scrap WAEC NECO fees. Human rights activist and African Action Congress presidential candidate Omogbehinmi has unveiled what he described as his administration's education blueprint ahead of the 2027 general elections at all levels. The abolition of public examination fees and sweeping reforms across Nigeria's education sector. Showrel, who shared the policy documents on his verified X handle on Monday, said, "No child would be required to pay for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, the National Examination Council examination, or any other public examination under his administration." The policy document outlines a 20-point education manifesto covering access to education, infrastructure, funding, curriculum, technology, research, and student welfare. On the overall vision, the document states, Showrel 2027 Education Manifesto, building a modern, free, inclusive, and future-ready education system. It further promises free education at every level, free from early childhood through university. No Nigerian will be denied education because of poverty. In other news, we cannot accept this tragic cycle as normal. Obi condemns fresh attacks in Benue, Plateau. The presidential candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, Peter Obi, has described the renewed killings in Benue and Plateau State as painful and deeply disturbing. The former governor of Anambra State, in a statement posted on his X handle on Monday, said the killing of at least 16 people in the Otukpo Nobi community of Benue State and the murder of 9 members of a family, including a 2-month-old baby, in Riyam local government area of Plateau State was unacceptable and called for a proactive, intelligence-driven security response. The attacks, which occurred at the weekend, also claimed 2 lives in Akpachi village in Uboju district of Otukpo local government area on Friday, bringing the death toll from the Benue attack to at least 18. In Plateau State, the victims are identified by community sources as members of one family were killed on Saturday night when government struck Kum and Werang camp communities in Riyam. Reacting to the killings, Obi said the reported murders were a painful reminder that the relentless cycle of bloodshed in parts of our country has persisted for far too long. He said, for years, families in Benue, Plateau, and other communities across Nigeria have lived under the constant shadow of fear, violence, and displacement. Mothers have buried their children. Children have become orphans overnight. Farmers have abandoned their lands and entire community have been left devastated. We cannot continue to accept this tragic cycle as though it were normal. The NDC presidential candidate insisted that the primary responsibility of any government remained the protection of lives and property, stressing that every Nigerian life was scared. Obi extended his condolences to the bereaved family and the government of Benue and Plateau State, praying for comfort for those who mourned and healing for the injured. And then in another news, Lagos hosts QEDNG Summit on Nigeria's creative economy. The second edition of the QEDNG Creative Powerhouse Summit will be held on August 11 in Lagos, with stakeholders set to explore strategies for shaping the future of Nigeria's creative economy through innovation, investment, and policy engagement. The convener, Olumide Yanda, said the summit was conceived as a platform that goes beyond dialogue to deliver practical outcomes for the industry. He noted that the event comes at a time when Nigeria's creative industry is gaining greater global recognition, but still requires stronger institutional support. Yanda recalled that the inaugural edition attracted notable personalities from across the creative and business sector, including the Group Managing Director of So and You, Udeme Ufot, who chaired the event, and the founder of the African Soft Power Group, Dr. Nkiru Balonwu, who delivered the keynote address. According to him, this year's edition will feature keynote addresses, panel discussions, and curated sessions focusing on innovations, growth funding, and the global positioning of Nigeria's creative talent. And now in sport, CAF President mourns South Africa's World Cup player, Jaden Adams. Confederation African the Football President, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, has expressed sadness over the death of South African international and Mamelodi Sundowns midfielder Jaden Adams. In a condolence message, Motsepe described the 25-year-old as a player who represented South Africa at the 2026 FIFA World Cup and was part of the Mamelodi Sundowns side that won the 2026 Total Energies CAF Champions League in Rabat. On behalf of CAF and its 54-member association, Motsepe extended his condolences to the South African Football Association, SAFA, its president, Dr. Danny Jaden, Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club, and Adams' family. Before joining Mamelodi Sundowns, Adams played for Stellenbosch FC and had recently become a regular member of the South African national team, Bafana Bafana. Motsepe concluded the tribute with a prayer for the late midfielder. Still in sports, Africa may get more slots as FIFA considers 64-team World Cup. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has confirmed that World Football's governing body will examine a proposal to expand the FIFA World Cup to 64 teams from the 2030 edition, a move that could increase Africa's representation at the tournament. The proposal, if approved, would add 16 more teams to the competition after the 2026 World Cup was expanded from 32 to 48 teams. Infantino disclosed this in an interview with Swiss media outlet Bluewin, as reported by the New York Times on Sunday. Responding to questions that some stakeholders are already saying that the number of teams should be increased to 64, Infantino said FIFA's relevant committees would discuss the proposal after the conclusion of the 2026 World Cup. The FIFA president said expanding the tournament aligns with the organization's goal of making the World Cup more inclusive. The expansion to 64 teams would likely increase the number of qualifications places allocated to each continental confederation, potentially giving Africa more slots than the 10 it received under the current 48 teams format. That's the news hour on Omogbehinmi TV. I am Omogbehinmi at Deji. Do well by following us on all our social media platforms at Maiba TV. Thanks for joining us.
Maiba TV, Bridget Bagabs.